Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A pleasant day to each and everyone. My name is Rania A. Sandigan and I will be discussing about the topics from the 4.2 or the chapter 4.2, which is the continuation of the primary source, preamble of the political constitution of 1899 and also the Commonwealth Constitution during 1935. Now, the form of government according to Title 2, Article 4 is to be popular, representative, alternative, and responsible. Now, what are these four? So, based on this or based on the Title 2, Article 4, the government in 1899 should have popular system, which means that the popular system or the government system should have democracy and should give the people rights to choose what they want in a community or the majority of the people wants. So, the next one is representative. The representative system, which means the government should be able to let the people decide about who they want the representatives to be, or who they want to choose as the representatives of a community. Now the next one is alternative. So the alternative means, or the alternative system is a government system that enables the people of a community to choose about or to make the replacement possible, which is replacing the representative or the previous representative and using legal ways or halalan, which means the election. And now the last one is responsible. So from the word responsible, the government officials or the representatives should have responsibility and should know the consequence of their actions. It may be good or it may be bad. So now, it also shall exercise three distinct powers, which is legislative, executive, and judicial. So these powers, three distinct powers, I hope you know that already, but I will still discuss it. So the legislative, which is the first distinct power, is the ones that has the power to make law. And the next one is the executive, which is the ones that has the power to implement the laws. And now the judicial, which is the ones that interprets and understands the laws that has been implemented. So now, the legislative power was vested in the members of which are elected for four terms of 4 years and for 4 years. So, yung unicameral body, which are the representatives na gumagawa ng mga batas, are the assembly, called the Assembly of Representative Members, are elected for terms for 4 years. So, nai-elect sila for 4 years or tumatakbo sila, ay hindi tumatakbo, tinatakbo nila yung community or yung nag-lead sila sa isang community for 4 years terms. So, ibig sabihin yung trabaho nila is magtatagal in 4 years. So, now, so the secretaries of the government were given seats in the assembly, which meet annually for a period of at least 3 months. So yung mga secretary daw sa government ay nabibigyan ng seats in the assembly, or sila yung nag-attend ng mga meetings which yearly or annually nagkikita sila or nag-meet sila for at least 3 months. So bills could be introduced either by the president or by the member of the assembly. So yung bills, which are the laws that are not yet has been approved, is introduced by either the president or the member of the assembly. So some powers, not legislative in nature, will also given to the body, such as the right to select its own officers, right of censure and interpellation, and the rights of impeaching the president, cabinet members, the chief justice of the Supreme Court, and Solicitor General. So yung mga representatives daw, they also have their own rights, that is to select officers, to impeach the higher officials, higher or low officials. They also have that right, and yan, pwede nila yan i-impeach. And also they have the right of censure and interpellation. So, a permanent commission of 7 elected by the Assembly and granted specific powers by the Constitution was to sit during the intervals between sessions of the assemblies. So, yung mga permanent commission daw, which is yung 7 na tao na yon, is elected by the Assembly and granted specific powers by the Constitution. So, granted sila na umupo during the intervals or the sessions na wala yung mga representatives which is na busy or hindi nag-attend ng assembly na yon. So yung mga 7 na yon, yung permanent commission na yon, which is yung 7 people na na-elect ng assembly, ay sila yung mag-uupo or mag-sit during the intervals within the session of the assembly. So yung executive power was vested in the president and elected by the constituent assembly of the Assembly of Representatives and Special Representatives. So yung executive power daw ay na-vested in the president and elected by the constituent assembly. So yung elected din siya by the Constituent Assembly of the Assembly of Representatives. Now, and the president will serve a term of 4 years without re-election. So, yung president daw in that time or in that government system should be leading for about 4-year term and without re-election. Or hindi na siya pwedeng mag-re-elect since nakatakbo na. Lead na siya for 4 years in a country. So, there was no vice president, and in case of vacancy, the president was to be selected by the Constituent Assembly. So, kapag may vacant daw, yung president can be selected by the Constituent Assembly. So the 1899 Malolos Constitution was never enforced due to the ongoing war. So never siya naging enforced dahil sa mga ongoing na war o yung nangyayaring war in that year. The Philippines was affected by a territory of the United States upon signing of the Treaty of Paris between Spain and the United States, transferring the sovereignty of the Philippines on December 10, 1898. So yun na nga, yung Philippines was effectively a territory of the United States. So, na-transfer yung sovereignty of the Philippines during December 10, 1898. So the next one is the Commonwealth Constitution, which was in the year 1935. So, it is worth mentioning that after the Treaty of Paris, or yung after ng pagkakasundo ng Paris, the Philippines was the subject of the power of the United States of America. So yung Philippines naman daw ay naging subject naman ng United States of America, effectively the new colonizers of the country. So from the year 1898 to 1901, the Philippines would be placed under a military government until a civil government would be put in place. So in the year 1989 and 1898 to 1901, yung Philippines daw ay na-place under the military government. So, in that time, hindi pa nila nakukuha yung freedom nila to have a civil government, which was they were led by the military government. Next paragraph, pinapaliwanag ng United States Congress ay nagpasa ng dalawang batas, which is the first one, the Philippine Organic Act of 1902, so the first organic law for the Philippine Islands that provided for the creation of popularly elected Philippine Assembly. So, yung first na batas na yon is naitatag ng isang halal na Philippine Assembly at bicameral na lehislaturo na binubuo ng Philippine Commission at Philippine Assembly. Kasama ang Bill of Rights para sa mga Pilipino. So, the second one naman is the Autonomy Act of 1916, which is also called as Jones Law. So, it is also nagpalit sa Philippine Constitution ay Commission ng isang Senate na inihalal ng mga Pilipino at nangakong kikilalanin ang kalayaan ng Pilipinas kapag nagkaroon na ng matatag na pamahalaan. So, yun na yung sinabi nila na yung act na yan was explicitly declared the purpose of the United States to end their sovereignty. So, natapos na yung sovereignty nila over the Philippines and recognize Philippine independence as soon as the stable government can be established. So, yun na nga, ibibigay nila yung Philippine independence hanggang sa maitatag na ang stable na pamahalaan. In 1932, the efforts of Philippine independence, mission led by Sergio Osmeña and Manuel Rojas, the Philippine Stated Congress passed Hair House Cutting Act with the promise of granting Filipinos independence. So the bill was opposed by then Senate President Manuel L. Quezon and consequently rejected by the Philippine Senate. Next, by the 1934, another law, the Tidings of McDuffie's Act, also known as the Philippine Independence Act, was passed by United States Congress that provoked authority and defined mechanisms for the establishment of formal institution by Constitutional Convention. So the members of the convention were elected and held their first meeting on July 30, 1934. So with Claro M. Recto, unanimously elected as president. So, noong 1934, ipinasa ng United States Congress ng Tidings McDuffie Act or the Philippine Independence Act na nagbigay ng pahintulot at proseso na makabuo ng ang Pilipinas na isang formal na constitution. So, ayun na nga, doon na nila itinatag o binigay yung act na yon, yung Independence Act na pamamagitan ng Constitutional Convention. So, ang mga membro nito ay nihalal noong nagtipon sila noong July 30, 1934, kung saan ang Claro M. Recto ay nagkakaisa bilang pangulo ng isang convention. Last paragraph, which is the Constitution was crafted to meet the approval of the United States government and to ensure that the United States would lead up to its promise to grant independence of the Philippines. So, para ma-ensure na yung United States or yung country na United States would live up or itutupad na yung promise niya na i-grant or itutupad niya na ang Philippine Independence Act in the Philippines. So, yung Constitution daw ay ginawa upang matiyak na maaprubahan ng United States of America na talagang maitatag nila or masunod nila ang pangako or gusto nilang ipatupad. So, para mabigay na ang kalayaan ng Pilipinas. So, that was it and thank you.